Welcome back to the penultimate round of day 4 of the Scrabble Players Championship. This matchup, an all-important one, Joey Mallick versus Orry Swift. 2 games were extremely important to show. I wish we could show both of them, Will.
Yeah, it's a real toss-up between which one to show. Both have enormous impact on the last 2 rounds of the day here. This one, Joey Mallick versus Orry Swift. The other, Mac Meller versus Joey Krafchick. Got to pick one, and we're going with this one. 2 players with 19-7 records. Orry, with the much bigger tiebreaker, has won his games by a combined 1,717 points. Pretty impressive, Josh, in a field of this caliber to outscore your opponents by that much. Ooh, we were about to go to a blitz game there.
Yeah, Orry Swift's clock was started. Can't have that happening. Thank you to our producer, Andrew, for fixing that for them. Joey Mallick going first. He'll have a small advantage in the form of that. But there's a cue. There goes the advantage. This is a smooth rack.
Yeah, it was looking good. He had some nicely balanced low point tiles, but along comes the cue. And this is just that classic, why do tournament players dislike the Q? As we see Joey exchanging QR. Interesting to keep the F and O along with this leave, Josh. That could have some merit, but I admit that's not necessarily what I would have done there.
Very interesting, and unfortunately, Orry did not get the tiles he needed for Calabia. But yeah, I like it. This is a classic Joey Mallick of I don't want to keep just bingo tiles. I want to keep a balanced rack. The F goes with the ORTE pretty well. Might not be the absolute best leave to keep. The F usually not something you want to think of keeping here, but I like the decision for him.
Yeah, it's not the leave that potentially yields the most bingos, but it might yield the most stable outcomes. So, just with that F, bringing up the baseline of what you can expect to score on the next turn if you don't hit a bingo. And yeah, in any case, Orry definitely was hoping for a word to get played there, but it's not to be, and he plays ABBA instead. This definitely... There's just, with that blank in hand, it limits your ability a little bit to play 5-letter words to connect your B or H to the double letter score, because you don't want to use your blank if you can't get a bingo. So made sense that we would see a short play there to start for Orry.
Yeah, the B definitely worse than the H, but Ahi or Aha were also worth considering for 2 more points. Joey has drawn into ACEFORT, did not get the letters he needed. Factored, no refactor yet. Again, don't play that word in Scrabble. Still not valid. No S for forecast. So he's going to have to take another turn to try and bingo. Ideally, you play off the O and the F. Cater is a fantastic combination of 5 tiles. FA, though, on top of the AB of ABBA, scores 16, and OF in that same spot only 10. Is it worth 6 points to keep Cater over CEORT? Or do you play something longer? Factor plays on the bottom for 25, but that opens a huge triple spot. I don't like that, Will.
Yeah, definitely favoring maybe a bit of a shorter play here. It does seem kind of impossible that the B of ABBA wouldn't get obstructed by whatever Joey plays. If it somehow doesn't, I'm not even sure exactly how that would come to pass. I guess a play like just OF, right? Like this, it would be the play that doesn't obstruct the B, which would allow Orry to play Bomite, B-mite, however you would spell that. It does get blocked, though, with FA for 16, 6 points above, playing of in a similar spot. Or he's going to have to work a little harder, but Josh,
paging refactors to the FA, but he has rectors. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, rectors on the rack for Joey, but Nigel Richards, if you're watching, can you tell us in the chat what is Orry Swift's best play in this position?
My God. Nigel? Hello? Where are you? Does Orry Swift know this 9-letter word that he has available to him through the A and the B? Even if he does, it's not that much better
Yeah,
than
it's an
playing through.
okay one to miss. I agree with you, Josh, that it opens up a ton, but making the blank a C, cohabitee, playing through AB, this would be a world-class find by Orry Swift. I'm pretty sure if you told Orry you have a playable bingo here, he would come up with it. But we don't get that luxury over the board, Josh, and that is what makes the players who can find that. By the way, paging Mac Meller as well. I remember debenture. He lined that up. I think you were commentating on day 1 or 2. I was just watching in the chat and I saw him immediately line up debenture as a 9-letter word with a blank. I give Mac good chances of finding that here as we see A instead, a much more human play.
Interesting decision by Orry. He could also have played this for one more point, the E and the H, with Ba and HAE, setting up his T. But maybe he thinks this is a bit more defensive, a bit more restrictive. With his blank, that's okay. He's drawn an O and an L, so he will be bingoing next turn. Joey Mallick with Rectors, and there are only 2 spots for this, one making AR, the other one hooking onto ABBA, which scores more, opens less. So that's the play for Joey Mallick. But wait a second. You're right.
So Rectors, yeah, this is a great adjustment by Joey after the play of EH, which implies a very good bingo leave that contains an E. It's almost a lock after this play by, maybe I would say it is a lock. After a play like EH, Orry has another E. There's no way he's playing that without an E. So playing Rectors and Abbas is a needless risk, knowing your opponent will be able to hook erectors on the triple after this play. Really nice adjustment. Only a 4-point gap. Yes, you don't love opening this big scoring spot, but again, Orry only played 2 tiles. The odds of him having low pointers, as he does, are very high after a play like that. I love this adjustment from Joey Mallick.
This is a fantastic decision. Kudos to him for this. It is a decision solely based on inference. In a vacuum, if you play Rectors here, you're getting hit by 50-point plays on top of the ORS. But based on Orry's cagey first 2 opening plays, you're far more concerned about bingos. And so instead of 80-plus points that Rectors and Abbas would have been giving up for Orry with that E-hook, now Orry cannot even score 70.
Yeah, it's a big swing. Joey saving himself a lot of pain. And if Orry attempts to take his highest scoring options here, which basically require him to play into the S of Rectors, those plays are going to give back nice counterplay along the triple, depending on where he plays that S. If it goes through the S going down, there will be a triple there, likely available. So this is definitely going to benefit Joey. Nice job by him. Let's see what Orry elects to do. He does have a lot of options with this blank, either 68 pointers to the S, or again, if he wants to sacrifice some points, he can do that to not give back quite as good of a triple. But here comes, oh boy, there we go. Fixing that. That would have been a tragedy to see, i.e. get transposed there, Josh.
Yeah, wow. I'm very, very impressed with the time usage. Orry Swift very confident that he doesn't have a double-double through the T of Rectors. Some other way of better inhibiting the spot that Rectors created on top of the ORS. Joey making some sort of comment to Orry after the play of Stoolies with the blank S. Now there are 2 triples open. You might be able to hit both of them at the same time with a key play overlapping the OOLIE, play that Joey Mallick does not have. Actually, he's a little bit stuck here with no good way to hit either of those two triples, the top right one, the middle right one. So he's just going to go ahead and play mug. This is a great way to score points, hooking the EH with meh, keeping SOL. He has great chances of a bingo next turn. And look at that draw for Orry Swift, QU, but nowhere fantastic for it.
So close. If there was an open E, of course, we'd be looking at a bingo here. But yeah, it's so interesting, Josh, with those two triples wide open, so many different types of plays that can hit really hard there. Joey just did not have the right vowels to really take advantage of that. And nor does Orry have the ability to really hit either of the triple word scores that hard. He's looking at playing something like quid parallel to Stoolies, or potentially just quad through this O. Maybe he wants to play quad to obstruct the damage that can be done to him on this triple and keep a vowel with, it must be said, a fair number of good bingo tiles open for 8-letter words, the CTO of rectors, and I guess you can throw in this G. Orry does want to prioritize keeping a good bingo leave here. He's going to go ahead and play quid. This also does a lot to obstruct that upper right triple as well.
And look at Joey Mallick dialing in, locking into this play. He was ready to play knots with the 5-way overlap I was talking to you guys about for like 60 plus points, but quid just blocking it in the nick of time. DOK, not a valid word, but now Joey was looking, and I do something similar like SHONT, something like that to score massively, but it looks like the plan was foiled, and what a draw for Orry Swift. EPRSTU blank. That is huge for him in this position.
Tremendous draw for Orry. It seems extremely unlikely, again, just with the lack of vowels on Joey's rack. If he just had one more vowel, it might be justifiable to place, and maybe a different consonant might be justifiable to play a 4-letter word there. I don't think that's where he's going to go with, or maybe he is. He has HOS set up. You know what? That is a pretty reasonable play here. And doing that would block double doubles like sputters for Orry Swift. So maybe as I look at it, Josh, that actually scores very well. Could be a reasonable way for him to go here. But compared to HOES, you can score similarly and use an extra consonant by playing in this spot, which could be tempting for him here.
I feel like ideally you play more consonants off here. I think you have to score points. Soth or Nosh to the right are 42. Hose is 44, keeping the extra consonant. You can't play something like KOHL through the O of rectors, can you? Keeping the best leave possible, setting up a huge S spot for yourself. Not a good score. You're taking the lead. You have to just go and score something, and it is about either Nosh or Soth. Do you want to keep KLT or do you want to keep KLN? I think KLN is slightly worse, slightly better, excuse me, in a vacuum. But maybe in this particular instance, it's totally fine to keep KLT. And Orry Swift going to take no time at all.
Oh, paging not Nigel Richards, not Mac Miller, paging Orry Swift. Look at this play, Josh. Oh my God. I was about to give this as a puzzle. What a play, Josh. What do you have to say about this?
I'm speechless. What an incredible find. You would think double double. That's the best I can do here. No way, Jose. Superstar to the AR already on the board. 89 points. Only 3 more than the double double, but those points are so important at the top level, and the style points to go with it. This play is worth 1,000 style points. Beautiful find by Orry Swift, making up for that cohabitee miss earlier.
Yeah, that's just remarkable patience as well as word finding. I definitely feel like most players would have assumed that a double double through the T had to have been the highest scoring play there without question. Instead, an extra 3 points on offer for this one. And the style points, as you say, are definitely consequential as well. When you hit your opponent with something like that, it means a little bit, even for players at this level.
Wow. You guys are just jealous of Orry's superstar status. 89 points instead of 86, and Joey Mallick completely saddled by 6 consonants and that Y. He doesn't even have a 5-letter word through the O of rectors to score nicely. This is an absolutely awful turnaround for Joey Mallick.
Yeah, that is a tough draw to his KLT because he played his N. All those clunky consonants, he is definitely going to be struggling quite a bit here. He would be looking through this O of rectors, and with the Y in hand, you would think there's a 5-letter word that plays through here that could help him clean up his rack. Just doesn't seem to be available here. That is crazy.
This is unbelievable. Joey actually considering just exchanging. He's down 72. This is awful, awful, awful. Nosh was the idea to play more consonants, to not be saddled with consonants, and still no vowels on the redraw for Joey Mallick. Will he exchange out of this? Will he play something crazy like Volk, VOLK, through the O and rectors just to take some points and stay within range? I hate everything here.
Only one S, no blanks. So you could do this and assume that, yeah, the odds of you getting an S to use in the spot aren't that good, but the odds of Orry having one immediately are extremely low. So you could potentially get away with plays like that and continue to keep pressure on Orry for a while with that final S hook of Volks, I should say. But Joey opting to exchange, can't really fault him for that one. Trying to get back on the right track with a bingo in a hurry. And that I, the third I, Josh, we love that in transcendental meditation, but not in Scrabble.
Transcendental meditation. Wow, what a call out. Orry Swift, I'm a bit concerned. He's lined up raw bone, maybe raw bones a couple of times. That's not a word. Sawbones is a word. Raw boned is a word. Jawbones is a word. Jawboner is a word. But how do you keep those straight? I think Orry has come to the conclusion that he does have them straight, and it's not a good idea to try raw bones. Bon to the left of the IT and DO looks pretty good. WAB in the same spot, a similar idea, but maybe you get rid of that N. Score a little bit more. Yeah, I think maybe that's the call here.
Yeah, that definitely looks like the spot to use just to dump some combination of your B and W, and then whatever other tiles you're wanting to get rid of. For the haters in the chat that are saying Superstar was not the best play, computer engine, I agree, cannot account for aura, in my opinion. So keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that with this S out in space, I will admit that that is going to be somewhat of a problem for Orry to protect his lead. And you've got a whole bunch of other really nice tiles to play through. But all that being said, where I'm going with this is that every tile you can keep on your rack that brings you closer to a bingo could be worth it here with that big S out in space. So maybe Wob over Bon has some merit just because the N is another good bingo tile that meshes well with your OER combination. Something to think about for Orry Swift.
So he looks like he's ready to play Bon. It's maybe a little bit more of a secure play. Because although you do draw into more bingos after Bon, that will pretty much seal the deal. You also draw into a lot of racks, similar to the one Joey Mallick is holding, where you can't really score very well in most situations. In this case, Joey could have scored through the R and Superstar with tiering, but there goes that opportunity for him, and he's suddenly left with awful options. Is it time to go a little bit cuckoo and just exchange again or play off one of the eyes to try and get a bingo sooner or later for Joey Mallick because he's starting to fall way too far behind.
Yeah, bingoing soon is definitely critical. As we see Orry with kind of a weird draw. It's not going to be a bingo for him, so that gives Joey a little more time. The problem is exchanging gets you, of course, 0 points, but if you want to get rid of 2 of the 3 eyes on your rack, you're going to have to play something uninspiring like Teepee or TT. These plays are not good to play. They don't feel good to put those on the board. And you also give up the T, which is a very, very nice tile to pair with the ING and E that you have on the rack. So maybe exchange II with some of those open spots. No, it looks like Joey going to play icing instead. I wonder, was that too many bingo tiles to spend there?
It's a reasonable play. Like you said, you gotta score something and stay within some sort of range here. TIE is a good leave, but there's another I and a J for Joey Mallick. Things are getting worse and worse for him as the draws go by him. He doesn't get what he needs. Orry Swift now with the K and 2 R's, considering KNURR through the U. It's Superstar. You could also just play Drunk or KNUR. All of these plays do similar things. Block the S that you're worried about, the S in Superstar, and they balance the rack pretty nicely.
I think the 2R version of that is not valid, though, right? I feel like I struggle
No, that's
with
good.
KNURR is good.
Yeah, it's KNAR. KNARR. That is.
Oh man, I struggle with that set so much. If you ever want to win a challenge against me, yeah, okay, cool. So that is valid and my initial instinct, but yeah, this is the play. So many variants of it. That is what Orry has lined up now, and it is a really good play with a lead to close up some of those lines, in particular the S. So there we go. He doesn't have an issue. He studied harder than I have with that set.
Is this a little bit of hesitation or is this a little bit of cinema? Orry Swift hesitating to put this play down. Am I sure this is a word or am I sure of it and I want Joey to not be sure of it? And he's challenged. Oh, is he not challenged? No, there's a score discrepancy.
Okay, they're checking the score.
My heart cannot handle that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be.
KNARR was played most recently by Wabe and Toe in the World Championship. Unfortunate thing for him. But this is valid. It's 21 points. Normally, when you see someone make a play and the clock gets stopped, that means they challenged. No, this is just a recount of a previous bingo. So, things are continuing here in round 27 of 28. Scrabble Players Championship 2026. Once again, if you're just joining us, there is only one game after this before we determine the 2 finalists for tomorrow. AJI, exactly what the doctor ordered for Joey Mallick. He's down over 100 points. He has to open up some space, create some threats, leave the board as open as possible for a comeback as Orry Swift tries to eliminate as much space as possible for Joey's comeback. And there is the verdict. Joey Mallick that will fit with tag. How would Orry Swift block this? Not sure. I think he might want to do something about his vowel overload here.
Yeah, I feel like he has DOE lined up. This would play in this area. Actually, Ode would be a better option than that if he thinks of O-bit. Oh, this looks like, is there any strategic? No, he might be getting set to reconsider. So Doe in that spot scores 26, but if you slot it up 1, you get a few more points, and he's realized that. But I think for Orry, the thing about Ahi that isn't really a threat to him is that it looks like Joey is really trying to draw this tile, the 4th and final S, which Orry knows that he has. So admittedly, he's surely aware that Joey's trying to open up bingo real estate for himself. But with that last S in hand, it's not nearly as important to block, and Joey is going to benefit from that right here with Verdict. Still going to need a lot more help from the bag Again, Orry with that S ready to eventually pounce with ahis, either for a bingo or a scoring play as he sees fit.
Little does Joey know he is not drawing that last S. Orry in great position to secure a win here. If he just plays it safe, he can play to the left of verdict now. WOE. It's a very nice score. He does not need to worry about that S hook on AJI. But look at that draw for Joey Mallick. If you want to score your way back into it, this is the draw for that. Wow.
What a set of power tiles to pull here. So, yeah, Orry is going to potentially still be feeling just fine here, but he's not going to be feeling fine in a couple turns. If Joey gets a big 1-2 punch with the Z and X and claws his way back to within striking distance without needing another bingo, what if all of that happens and Orry just does not draw that knockout punch with ahis or something elsewhere on the board? This is deceptively getting closer after Orry up by 100+ points not long ago.
Yeah, wow. Zoil through the O of Rectors is 48. If it was Joey's turn, he would take the lead with that. He's down 44, but Woe coming down. This is a great way to keep scoring 32 points for Orry Swift. He'll be at 331, up a bingo with the last S. Feeling pretty good about his chances here, but like you said, Will, a leave like ILSU, what if Orry keeps drawing 1 point tiles? Can't do anything about that. Is it going to be a question of drawing that final bingo, drawing just enough points to stay ahead of Joey Mallick after his inevitable scoring plays? That's an E, an E, and a Y. Not the worst, not the best. What does Joey
Yeah.
Mallick do here? Zoil, he has pretty decent chances of being able to cash the X after the play through the O of Rectors.
Yeah, for sure. So it seems like not sure he's identified Zoil as a choice, but a player at Joey's level. As soon as he looks at that O of Rectors, he is going to think about that and see it. Just want to call out too, from Ori's perspective, parting with the E after Woe, a lot easier to do given the sheer number of E's remaining. He could be confident that he was going to draw more, which he did. Additionally, keeping that fourth and final U not nearly as toxic without more U's to come in the bag and only one V. Both of the W's already there. So the U not as toxic as usual. All that contributing to Orry making his previous play of Woe very quickly and confidently. He's done well to manage his time against a bunch of fast playing opponents that we've seen on stream.
Absolutely. Of course, if you're Joey Mallick, you're not feeling great about eliminating all that space with Zoil. It's kind of committing yourself to drawing specific scoring plays and maybe that last S to win this game, but it's so many more points than anything else, and it doesn't open anything big for Orry, so he's got to go with it, and there it is. If he draws an E, he gets mixed for 38, and Orry Swift now with this rack, it's not so great. Can you just cash your S in now with LYSE? Or do you play something a little bit more patient like Gluey from the G in Mug? Either way, it's not so fantastic looking at this position that E and Superstar still open for bingos. The I and Ahi potentially a way to reopen the board, keep threats alive. Maybe we'll see something more defensive here for Orry Swift.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here from Ori's perspective. The tiles in the bag are not terrifying, especially again holding that last S, but there's enough good stuff that this E of Superstar is a little bit scary to leave open. So I see that he had Gluey potentially lined up to block the lower part of the board. After Zoil, the one saving grace, you don't love to get hit by nearly 50 points, but it does block the lower part of the board quite a bit. Could Orry feel comfortable that he's up by enough to play something up high? No, he's going to go ahead and play Gluey. He's going for the knockout punch with Ahi, keeping that S, hoping he can draw something bigger there, either a bingo or a really high scoring play. Leaving the E open, he's taking a chance here, and it's not going to bite him yet. It's a reasonable choice. There were a lot of ways he could have gone there, Josh.
Key draw for Orry Swift, AVNF. right. That's maybe not exactly what he wanted. Joey Mallick with a good draw, just a T instead of an N. Examined would have been fantastic through that E of Superstar. I think Orry really hoping his trump card is that S. Even if Joey Mallick gets something through the E, he might have enough with the hook of AJIS to still win the game. He also has Stag, the hook to tag if he has a four-letter word starting an S that scores well enough. What do you do if you're Joey Mallick? He's looking at playing Mix to the right of Zoil. This is a fantastic play to set up his T for MIXT. He's going to have great chances of drawing a bingo, hooking that. And suddenly, Orry Swift no longer has control over this board.
Yeah, there's too much. That was a great idea by Joey to open some action in this previously closed down quadrant. Now you've got this to pair with your open E on the top of the board. These are two threats that Orry cannot deal with simultaneously. And now he has to worry a little bit about making sure that he scores enough points here. Yeah, you want to block something. Is Orry going to think about playing if here to do the Uno reverse on Joey and set up an even better S hook for himself? That would be kind of crazy, Josh, but there is some logic to it. There are definitely way higher scoring plays on offer, but this definitely pumps that S value through the roof.
Yeah, Savine is 41 with AJIS, taking a 60-point lead, but maybe that's just not enough, leaving one tile in the bag if Joey just bingos after that. I think he might just win by a small margin. Bad draw for Joey Mallick, AOY to date, and now Mixed is gone. That Ian Superstar, his only hope now, or the S draw that is not happening. Levance is the draw for Orry Swift. Could this be his ticket into the finals? I think so, Will. How is Joey Mallick going to untangle from this?
Yeah, Levant's went for a huge score. The newly opened S hook significantly more lucrative for Orry than the Ahi's one, simply by virtue of allowing 7-letter words with terminal S. That is the S hook that you truly want when you've got that last S. And Joey buys himself a little bit of time here to block it. He clearly knows after a play like that that Orry has the final S and he has to buy himself some time. Really nice job by him to quickly adjust.
Could
Impressive,
draw
Josh.
stuff. He could have drawn something like ideation through the eye of Ahi, but he misses just by one tile. This might be it, but what a great savvy play by Joey Mallick to give himself the best chance to still win this game. He knows with the play of if, or he has that last S. There's no other reason he would do that. But I think this was just one tile off of the potential comeback from Joey Mallick. But Orry Swift is not out of the water here. He has to think about what threats there are on the board. Option E, ideation, lots of stuff are possible on both fronts. So he cannot win the game 100% of the time from his perspective.
Yeah, which is crazy that Joey has fought himself back into that type of a situation. It was so dire. But yeah, chat's loving it. I'm loving it. You're loving it, Josh. There have been some great plays by both players. I definitely want to shout out Joey with several really good inference based plays in this game. So instructive to see him playing at that level. Not a surprise that he is right there in the mix, still fighting for one of those finalist spots.
Is Ori going to play the V for 10 points to the IS on the right of the board and just try to bingo himself? Maybe that's his best way. Maybe that is the way to fight off all the bingo options that Joey Mallick might have. But what happens if VIS comes down, Ori Swift draws an E or something like that, and then Joey Mallick plays off his E? This is going to be actually very, very interesting. But wait a second. Maybe not. Maybe Ori is just going to try and close the door, close that E of Superstar. This is a very tough position, Will. Does he outscore Joey Mallick's bingos with the V-Fish? If he draws a bingo himself, I think so, but Velate blocking as much as possible. Game is now over. I
Yeah,
don't know if this was right, but it's going to work out for him.
it's not an 100% win. As you said, there were a few things that Joey could have. Orry just has to dodge them. And you see how close Joey is to ideation for the win at the bottom of the board. He is one tile away. Orry, look at that body language there. Clearly has his tracking correct and breathing a huge sigh of relief. I think he realizes no bingos for Joey. And again, with that S in hand, Orry's been saving it patiently the entire game long, knowing that, yeah, he's still a little bit close on the scoreboard after the play of V-Late, but Ahi's is waiting for him. The warm embrace of that S-hook, getting 30-odd points, that's going to be enough to withstand any sequence that Joey has. Anything other than a bingo is not enough for Joey, and he just has not drawn one at the most pivotal moment.
What an incredible game. I think this is enough for Orry Swift to make it to the finals, but possibly not enough for Joey Mallick. Seems like this might be it for him. Orry Swift visibly emotional here, realizing he's just dodged a massive bullet one tile away from getting hit with iodinate or ideation. And he knows it. He knows how close Joey was. Joey knows how close he was. Just one letter different. And the game turns around once again. Joey Mallick winning this one. But Orry Swift going to take it, pivoting over to his new record of 20-7 after this game with massive spread. What is happening in the other one, Will? Do we have any people on site that can give us an idea of the game between Mac Meller, Joey Krafchick? It might also be over already or close to over. We know Joey Krafchick's such a fast player, but no result in yet.
Yeah, that game, of course, we're going to figure out as soon as possible what happened in that one and relay that to all of you out there watching. Very appreciative for our audience here today and throughout the event. It's been a real pleasure to be a small part of this broadcast with Josh on the call for all 28 rounds of the first 4 days and the finals. The marathon man, Josh. We appreciate you. Can anybody give some love to Josh Sokol, our commentator and host extraordinaire, in the chat here as we wind down our penultimate game of day 4?
There's nidate for Joey Mallick, trying to block as much as possible. He'll still get outplayed on inspo, the new word. Orry Swift, sure enough, to play this. If he messes up here, he loses the game. He has to play something he's sure of. We'll see the confidence coming to you soon for Orry Swift. Again, just make a valid move and you win.
You got pions here if you're remotely unsure, but Orry gonna go with inspo because he truly is our superstar, Josh. Amazing. Orry Swift nailing the end game. Very nice play by Joey as well. Just want to point out that was only 1 point off of his optimal end game, blocking the good Ahi's hooks that Orry probably wanted to play. And Orry, all right, maybe not the superstar that I claimed, going for the second best end game instead. We can forgive him, can't we?
Goodness, yeah. That's what I figured he would do in the end. All right, Pions, the final play. Orry Swift winning by around 50 points. Let's pan to the overhead mic.
I'm like 99% sure inspo is good.
Yeah, I didn't know because I couldn't block everything. Well,
Oh yeah.
and I blocked the best ones you had at least. So.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah.
You had a bingo there, and I just took out the most I could. There was still like iodinate down here.
Oh.
I just couldn't deal with everything. You blocked Levant's. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. I assume you got the.
I could
rest
play
then.
Vestal for a ton of points,
Yeah.
but you could just win. Yeah, that was a cool game.
So was it IO in the bag or something or?
Yeah, IOP.
IOP. Okay.
Yeah, I kept 2 consonants here, but there were so many vowels. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna draw vowels. Yeah, it was a good comeback.
Yeah, that was an appropriate find. Yeah.
And Sputters is just less points.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. I don't know. I miscounted this, so maybe
Yeah.
it's not less. 89, and then Sputters is 86. Okay, 3 more points.
Yeah, I was hoping you were doing QI up there because I would have had knots for a ton there. That was my only vowel, and then I drew 4 more consonants. And then I drew 3 I's after I exchanged.
Yeah, mix was a great play. I didn't have the
Yeah,
T's.
I saved date. I thought that was like,
Yeah. But then you have to know I have the S here.
Yeah. But
So
still,
it's-
I thought even if I
gets
don't
up.
hit something there, I through the I or through the E, I thought I could
Yeah.
still maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, the gig is up right there. All right, man. Well, I think you just got to win your
Yeah,
last
you're
one.
basically in, I think. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm
Yeah,
Gibson.
so I think I'm going to play Mac for. Yeah.
Woo wee. That was a heart stopper. Joey Mallick almost on the brink of elimination. I think he still has a chance to make it. We're not sure how big of a chance he has, depending on what Mac has done in his game versus Joey Kravchik. A reminder, Mac, Orry, and Joey were all 19-7 going into this game. Now Joey's at 19-8 plus 893. If Mac Meller wins by any margin, he'll be up almost 300 points of spread on Joey Mallick. So Joey would need to win by a huge amount. But remember 2023, Joey Mallick again in this exact same position on the brink of elimination, faced off against Jackson Smiley, needed to win by a huge amount of points, and he succeeded, knocking Jackson out of the finals, ultimately falling to some commentator Canadian dude.
That's true. It's only a mystery who was the winner that year for all of us. In case you're not connecting the dots, the player who defeated Joey Mallick in the finals that year. Wait, which way do I look? This way. It was this guy right here.
Mac
Josh
lost.
Sokol. Mac
lost by
losing.
30. So it's just a winner take all. I believe Orry Swift is all but locked in to his position in the finals, but Mac Meller and Joey Mallick will have to play a 1-game match. And whoever wins that one makes it to the final. I don't see any other pairing making sense here, but I'm not the boss. Joey Kravchik a half game behind Joey Mallick after his victory over Mac Meller. So I guess there's an argument to give him a chance. Who knows? Who knows what the next pairing will be? Most likely it'll be Mac versus Joey Mallick. We'll have to see and wait for the final decision. A few other results coming in. Jason Lee lost his game to Joe Edley. Carl Johnson beating Evan Chester by 300 points.
Yikes.
He's now in 6th place. But just a reminder, everybody, there is one more game today. And after that game, 2 finalists will be determined for the best of 5 finals tomorrow. However, the rest of players will be playing 3 more games. So if you're looking at the standings, remember there are 4 more games to see who comes in 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, 7th place. A lot still to play for everybody that cannot make it to the finals or does not make it to the finals. So without further ado, Will, we're going to wait. We're going to have a pairings break. We'll have the final match for you, whoever it may be. And this one is for everything. This one is for a spot in the best of 5 tomorrow.
Can't wait. Really excited. We'll take that break, figure everything out, and be back shortly.